Hello and welcome to the 5th instalment of Digital Signage Debrief. My name's Thomas Fraser-Bacon. On this episode we'll be discussing the events of the past year and looking forward to what we think 2022 holds for the digital signage industry. Who better to discuss this with than our guest today, Allsee Technologies founder and Managing Director, Dr. Baoli Zhao. Good morning, Baoli.
Good morning, Tom.
So it goes without saying that 2020 was a tough year for everyone, obviously including our partners and their end users. At the end of 2020, what did we learn that you wanted to take into 2021?
Last year was really tough year for everybody. Myself, I feel very tough, especially our partners. They more like SME companies. What I learned from them was one bit is how do we communicate during the pandemic. That become a problem. Because we cannot see each other, so we have to use new communication method. For example, we use a lot of Zoom, the new teleconference system, and then we host a lot of webinar to broadcast message. So all these new communication methods really helped us. I think we will continue to use that for future.
Definitely.
So that's one bit. And then second bit, last year for our customers, which as I said, they are SMEs. Many of them, they don't have inside like marketing team to help them to broadcast products message to their customers. So what we did is we helped them, because in Allsee we have beautiful marketing team working with us. So we put these resources for our partners. For example, we did an email campaign for them. We conduct everything, we just send to their customer, and even we bespoke the flyer for them, right? We decide for them, and they put to the print. Absolutely. So all that is really, really, I think we learned for that, and our customer love that. We continue going to do that. But I have to mention one bit, which is I would say is our R&D. We did extra mile. I remember that during 2020, as you guys imagine, the normal products couldn't be used during the pandemic period. But what we have to do is we have to come with a product, which hopefully you remember that beautiful hand sanitizer display, which is specially designed for the public usage. People can get hand sanitized, but also has advertising screens on top. That was an amazing product. Just because we did that product, our resellers, our customer can have something to use. So all these ones, I think we learned from that. So R&D, it doesn't need to have a longer plan, but sometimes you have to adjust because the market quick change. So I think that is the way we learned from 2020.
I agree. I think our R&D process, I think over the past 10 years, it has gone from strength to strength. But I think in 2020, kind of we had to streamline it. We had to be more reactive, more agile. So I definitely agree with that. And then also the point you made about the marketing support, I agree as well with that. I think as well, one longer term benefit is because we've invested internally in building not just the marketing team, but all of our teams, and we continue to do that. That will hopefully benefit our partners again longer term, because more and more they'll be able to lean on us for more support in more areas. Yeah,
I totally agree with you on that bit. Is just remember, they are not only customer. Also, I never call customer. Sounds strange for me. I always call this partner. Which means partner. There's another meaning of being partner is to share resources.
Absolutely.
So because we have a beautiful team in here, we can help them. Why not? And so both of us, we won from this.
I agree. I mean, again, Baoli, I've been with the business 11 years. I think from day one, for me anyway, and I think from you, something I've always learned from you is, obviously without our partners, we don't have a business. So that's always been our main focus, obviously. So from your perspective, what was Allsee's main focus in 2021?
For this year, just because of pandemic, a lot of things changed. I would say my main focus always on research development of our new product. Definitely, without doubt. That's my first priority every year. But this year, 2021, I have to bring the sales at my first priority. Reason of that is just because during 2020, most of our partners didn't have the orders or sales coming down. So I would say the whole team feel a little bit demotivated. So if we can bring sales up, everybody will be happy. That's quite natural. So that was, or it is still my first priority during 2021. So the result, I'm quite happy actually. And we had, by now 11 months passed, we had 38% growth compared to 2019, which is before pandemic. So this year we did fantastic well. I'm quite happy about that. So that was my first priority. And the second one, I would say, is corporate culture. So before pandemic, we are very united team, which you know that, like we have so many events every Saturday. The colleagues come to my house, we play some poker, we eat together. Because pandemic, everything changed. So we have to find a new way. How do we get our team united together? And we still, we still have some colleagues work from home. So how do we get everybody engaged, united? That was this year my main focus, one of that. And of course the leadership, because during the pandemic, and everybody needed to take a certain responsibility to do the things. So everybody can be a leader. So people always think leader is one person job, is main person from main management team. For me, is leadership is everybody's job. So I think we did pretty well, and our employees, they be a sample for others. So that was fantastic well. And then other things is, during this year, it was a surprisingly, it's the supply chain. We're all facing the big problem. We know that from the shipping cost, we know that the cost from $2,500 container raised to $16,000 or sometimes $18,000. You know that was 6 times more. Was the supply chain has a big problem, and then of course in our industry, the semiconductor chips was a shortage. And the
LCD panels as well.
Yeah, exactly. Just and also the China factory has a power shortage for quite a while time. So all that problem is it's going to affect us, which is we have to manage supply chain very well to make sure we have enough stock, which we manage very well. We have plenty stock in here to sell, and amazingly is we didn't put our price up. And this, you know that everybody experienced that during the last 1 year, from your home energy until consumer product, everybody put the price up, but also we maintain that price, right? And I have to say we manage supply chain very well. So of course we lost certain profit, but we rather than to take this, rather than let our customer or partner to suffer. So Allsee can suffer a little bit, it's no problem. That's our responsibility. We're looking for long-term relationship. As I said, product development this year, unfortunately, was a little bit low on my priority list compared to before. It's because we have to get this pandemic passed. Once it's over, product developing will be back to my main priority for that. So yeah, that's for me for this year, I think.
Absolutely. I know that from my perspective, again, the price freeze has definitely been one of your top priorities. And like you say, from both ends, making sure that the supply chain is correctly managed, improving our internal ERP system, and then, like you say, also reducing our own profit, to help our partners to continue to grow their businesses as well, which is, at the end of the day, that's essential for us to keep growing. Yeah,
exactly. That's the people always ask me question, how can you not going to improve your price? And because what we did, exactly what you said, we save our cost from our process. And one, you mentioned the ERP system. And then, of course, we did a lot of we try to use more sustainable products, package even, and to save the cost. We put, before we use big package, now we use small package, we save a huge amount of cost. So that helps us get through.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned earlier about obviously improving and keep enhancing communication with customers, with our partners. A couple of things from the marketing side of things, and again from the R&D side of things. All the teams have internally have got a lot of the internal communication is great. So our account manager team, our sales team, in obviously constant communication with our partners. They're getting constant feedback about challenges they're facing to do with product features, product enhancement, and also even things like cost. So there's been a few products this year, a few special offers that we've run, promotions that we've run, price reductions, and upgrades based directly on that partner feedback, based on the challenges that our partners are facing. So I mean, one message I would say is, keep, from our, even advice to our partners, keep that communication coming, keep that feedback coming, and that's the only way we can help them. So yeah, that would be one thing as well from my perspective.
Oh yeah, I have to add on something. That is why we put a big team for from the account manager to customer technical support. We want to keep this communication channel open to our partners. So anything, just give us a call. I think that really help. Call us, email us, talk with us, visit us. The channel is there, really. It's only let communication flow, and then we understand each other, we help each other, can get this difficult period past. Yes.
I think the majority of our long-standing partners are aware of that anyway, but any of our new partners, I'd strongly encourage that communication. Are there any other highlights from the year for you?
Highlight. Okay. One bit I have to say, everybody think that the pandemic is going to hit our economy. So a lot of companies very cautious about launching new product. Actually, for us, it's totally different way, right? 2021, this year, we launched so many products, just unbelievable. Like probably you see these LED displays beside us, and we launched that. We also launched the self-edge displays for retail market. There's many more. So this year was really, really surprise for me. I would say it's a big product launch year for us, right? That's one bit. And then second bit, I remember correctly, this year we did a lot of the bespoke solutions for our partners. So that was quite amazing. And one of the projects I remember that is we developed this outdoor display for electricity car charger for the vehicles. I hope you remember this project. It's a very beautiful 15-inch screen. You can use it for outdoor unit. It's a high brightness panel and beautiful products because the green energy is going very strong in the next few years. So we help the customer happy, and we did a few similar projects. I think that was quite a surprise for me as well for this year. Yeah,
absolutely. I think you're right. I mean, I think this year's been a record year in terms of new product launches. We launched a lot last year as well. And yeah, I think like you say, that's not necessarily our focus going forward because of the R&D this year. But yeah, that's it has been quite an interesting year in terms of product launches. Another thing as well, from my point of view, is how much investment there has been internally for our CMS platform, My Signage Portal, as well. I know that we're kind of encountering a lot more projects now that require very specific features that only a handful of CMS platforms on the market can accommodate. So I know that it's one of our focuses as well for continuing to develop that. But I know that already this year internally we've invested a lot. Obviously we've launched a new user interface, and along with that lots of new features, lots more to come. So yeah, that's obviously been, although it's not necessarily a hardware product, obviously on the software side we are obviously continuing to invest this year as well. So what do you think 2022 holds for Allsee and the digital signage industry in general?
Okay. For digital signage sector or industry, I would say we are still, the whole industry will be in a very fast growing period now. So if you remember very clearly, our company started 2007. I remember very clearly, even me, first 5 years, what our main job? Our main job was trying to educate the market. What's digital signage about? Is that really going to get your investment back? Is that really going to help you increase the sales or communication? So on, so on. We did a lot of communication to educate the market. That on that age was the sales was slow, but you can see that in last 3 or 4 years,
it's proven.
Yes, it's proven. It's working, and everybody now, it's just you don't need to have them benefit. They want these products for their shop windows, for their point of sales place, and they can naturally, the customer wants the screen. So I would say the digital signage market will be continue booming for next 4 or 5 years without doubt. This is so next year is still going to be strong. If you ask me which particular products probably will be very strong next year, I would say probably Windows displays, the high brightness panel for the shop windows going to be very strong, and also the screens going to be placed for outside building, outdoor unit. So this hadn't been fully ready because technology in last many years, but I would say next couple of years will be very, very good products on the market, and this market will going very strong.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that you mentioned about outdoor screens, our wall-mounted and freestanding outdoor screens, not including our outdoor A board. This year compared to last year, there's been over 70% growth.
Wow,
just for those two ranges. So, like you say, that's definitely going to continue to grow, and based on partner feedback, a lot more smart cities projects, and obviously not just within the UK, but obviously on the EU side and overseas as well.
Yeah.
So something obviously I'm noticing as well is obviously a lot more of a shift to LED. Obviously you mentioned LED earlier, and again I mentioned about the further investment into My Signage portal, and I think as well, from my point of view, rather than kind of continue to add to our existing range to kind of enhance products that we already have. Obviously this year we launched our Slimline Pro range, which is the kind of next generation of our flagship Android advertising displays, which is kind of the latest version of the first product that you developed, like you say, back in 2007. I bet that feels like a long time ago now.
This is our next generation now.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy. But also I think another thing for me as well is to obviously continue to expand on the EU side. I know that in 2020 compared to 2019, our growth in EU, even in spite of the pandemic, was still 10%, which was pretty impressive. This year we're on track for 64% growth compared to last year. So I'm hoping we can continue to grow that as well.
Of course. Our European market is one of our new market, and on their team, it's growing because customers need better services, and then we just need to keep focus. We'll continue to grow that. Definitely, for next year, it's our main focus still on the EU market. Definitely.
You also mentioned a bespoke project that we worked on for the car charging stations. I know that this year we've probably done more bespoke solution projects than any other year. Is that something you can see continuing to grow next year?
Of course, because just remember us, digital signage market is B2B market. It's totally different with the B2C market, consumer market. Consumer market is you develop one product will meet millions of people demands, but B2B market is every customer has a special requirement because they have different layout of their shops, because they have different purpose. So we try to do more and more bespoke solutions for these customers. Yeah, without
absolutely. So yeah, Baoli, unless you've got anything else to add, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate you taking the time today.
Okay, great. Before we go, I would like to mention one thing, which is I think is quite important. I was suddenly thought about this one, is about software solutions.
Yeah.
What we do is I just found Allsee has done amazingly well on the hardware in the last many years. That's our main focus. And in terms of software bit, I found that we definitely didn't put a lot of effort before, but now we need to put more in. So this will be next few years focus, because if you think about our customer, when marketing director, they want to see the data. They want to see how many screens display the AdWord and what AdWord has been shown, what's the profile of the audience, so on, so on. So what we do is we need to invest more on that bit and to develop a solution, a robust and a good solution for our customers, basically these marketing managers, to let them to understand their customer better. Absolutely. So that's one bit definitely I want to tell you, and next year probably we'll do more. Yes.
I completely agree with that. I think, like you say, we're not the only industry that's having a more performance-driven, analytics approach. Like you say, I think, in most industries that's going to become more and more important. So yeah,
absolutely. So basically, our vision on that is Allsee is not simply as a digital signage market player, but we also a digital marketing player as well. So we help them.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, like I say, Baoli, thanks again for your time today. And I think some of the topics we discussed are going to be of interest to our partners, and hopefully it'll give a little bit of an insight behind the scenes into Allsee and, you know, how we operate and what we do and all that kind of stuff. So thanks so much for your time today.
Oh, thank you for talking with me. Thank you.
No problem.
Bye-bye.
If you'd like to contact us about any of the topics that were discussed during today's episode, you can find our information in the description of the video, or you can reach out to Baoli or myself personally. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye-bye.